Hello and welcome to Do3 Commit. I'm hoping this is working. It's the first time I've tried this. So what I want to do today is just quickly run through this opening week. I'm sure a few of you got a few questions and things, which you can either drop us a message about, or the best thing to do actually is to ask the questions on the Facebook group, the Do3 Commit Facebook group. If you're not part of the group already, then certainly make sure you sign up. So either search for Do3 Commit on Facebook, or drop Corinne or I a message, and we will get you connected up. And we want you to ask questions on there because there'll be others in the group who will be wanting to know similar kind of things as well. So let's just kind of share the information and make sure that we make it work for everybody as best we can, really. But we've also got the online drop-in meeting session arranged for tomorrow, which is 9:30. I've put the link on the Facebook group again, so just click the links and you should be able to come into the meeting room at 9:30, or any time between 9:30 and 10:30 actually. So it is a drop-in, which means you don't have to be there for the whole thing. So if you only got 5 minutes to spare at 20 past 10, then you come then. Hopefully there'll be enough time and space in there for you to ask your question. It is an open group, so other people will be able to hear you speaking, but I don't anticipate it being packed out full of people. People will come and go and ask their question and then disappear off again. So that's the way that will work. But again, if you've got any questions on that side of things, then let us know. So this week then, we've dropped in your lead-in week. So the purpose of the lead-in week really is to just get your body used to, again, doing some harder work. Hopefully quite a few of you will have been on the recovery period, haven't been doing a huge amount over the last few weeks. So this is an opportunity just to get you moving again and get you used to also how the training sessions all work, and training peaks, and how the program works and all that kind of stuff. So it's a bit of a teething couple of weeks. So don't worry too much about being ultra precise in what you do this next couple of weeks. Once we get these 2 weeks out of the way, then we'll get onto the plan proper, and that's by that point hopefully you'll be fully up to speed and know what you're doing with things. So this week then we have a whole bunch of stuff, lots and lots of swims, which I'll talk about in a second, a few runs and some bike sessions. But the main purpose this week really is to get the opening benchmark tests done. Now, first of all, don't worry too much about these. They are tests, and they are there to give us some information to help set up your training zones, and to draw that line in the sand. But we test fairly frequently, so don't worry too much. You're not going to be locked into incorrect training zones forevermore if you don't have a great test. And to some degree, the test takes some getting used to anyway. So don't worry too much about them. Just do the best you can, and then there'll be plenty more opportunities to retune and recalibrate with further tests along the way. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that really. In terms of overall volume, including the swims, there is 13 hours of training. Now, we don't expect you to do all of that at the start. Particularly the swims, there's 7 swims in there at the moment. If you look at Monday and Tuesday, you got midweek speed and power twice. You only do one of those. Same on Thursday and Friday. You have Do3 endurance and Do3 endurance on Friday as well. Again, only do one of those. They're like that because they follow the plan of the squad sessions, the physical squad sessions that we run. Okay, so there's a certain amount of flexibility with the swims in terms of when you do them. So just do whichever one suit on which particular day. So if Monday suits you better than Tuesday, then do the Monday one, or vice versa. So there are 4 different types of swim session per week. Again, if you can't do them all, then don't do them all. Just initially, just try and do as many as you can. Okay. as the weeks progress, if you feel that your swimming's not getting anywhere or not improving, then we can talk about it and maybe start making sure we drop another swim session in. But for the time being, just do what you can. I put key sessions on the plan this year so that you know which ones are, well, the main sessions of the week. So again, if you're short of time, you're not sure which ones you absolutely need to do, which sessions you absolutely need to do, and which ones you maybe haven't got time to do and you'd rather miss them out, then just make sure you do the key sessions if you can. The others can be missed. Ideally, we try and do everything as well as we can, do as many sessions as we can, but if you need to miss things, then don't miss out the key ones, miss the other ones out. I hope that makes sense. In fact, what I'll do next is I'll go through the week one day at a time, just to kind of talk you through very simply the basics of what's expected during the sessions, really. So midweek Sweden power session on Monday. Some of you may well have already done that this morning as part of the squad session if you came to the squad session this morning. Midweek speed and power sessions, as the name suggests, are short, speedier type intervals. So normally 25s or 33s if you're in a 33 metre pool. And this particular session has got 6 times 75s, 100 easies in between. So it's shorter, faster work to build up, as the name suggests again, your speed and power. Plenty of rest in between to make sure you're putting good quality work in. If you're in a 33 metre pool, and as you can see there, the session is actually designed or written for a 75, you need to adjust it as best you can. Okay, if you're not sure on how to adjust it, then again, drop us a message. So this morning we swam 6 times 66s rather than 75s. We just made that adjustment instead. That's all. It saved us some time, really, because otherwise we'd have to write different training sessions for all different sizes of pools and things. So just try and make those adjustments, as I say. So it's midweek speed and power. Progressive hill run. So hill run on day one of the plan. We do a lot of strength work, and hill running is our strength work effectively on the run. As you can see in the notes there, nice easy jog, warm up for about 15 minutes or so, just jogging to the hill. And this is a progressive hill run session. So the idea with this is that if you have your hill in front of you, you divide it into equal thirds. So the top of the hill being 3/3. If that makes sense. And you will run the first interval. You will run 1/3 up the hill, so just a third of the way up the hill, back down to the bottom. The second run up the hill will be going 2/3, so 2/3 of the way up the hill, then all the way back down, and then finally you go right the way to the top. So 3/3 complete the hill, and then back down again. You do that continually for 10 minutes. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cough. Do that for 10 minutes. And that's all you need to do. The efforts are good, strong efforts, driving the knees, keeping the head up, and like I say, they should be fairly challenging, but it's only fairly short just to start. They're nice, easy jog back home, and that'll be you done for today. On Tuesday, it's midweek speed and power, so same as Monday, so you do either or, and then Tuesday have the FTP test. Now, the idea of this test really is, again, for us to just see what you're capable of pushing, the hardest effort you can push over 20 minutes. And that will allow us to set up your heart rate or power zones if you have power. We will go over setting up the zones in a separate recording because it's quite detailed, so we won't cover that today. But all you need to worry about is following the session plan through. So a bit of a warm up there. You just go into the 20-minute interval. So it's a 20-minute maximum effort. Now the most important thing with this is that you record your effort. So if you have power, then that's great, use a power meter, or use you could use a smart trainer to record your power virtually. If you don't have power, then use a heart rate monitor. If you don't have a heart rate monitor or power, the best thing for you to do is to do the test and record the speed or the distance that you cover over the 20 minutes. It's not ideal, and that's the least kind of valuable way of testing it, but if we do the same test next time and it's exactly to make sure that exactly the same kind of conditions, then ideally you would have covered more distance during that test period, if that makes sense. So we should still be able to measure some progression, but really you must try and get a heart rate monitor, because that's at least the kind of the minimum amount of kind of recording that we would expect to use, really. All right, so FTP test. Once you've done that, nice easy cool down. It is a tough test. It's tough. It's hard. So think about it beforehand. Kind of visualize what you're going to be doing. Make sure you're prepared, and you've got a drink next to you. You've got a fan, and yeah, it's a 20-minute flat-out effort. Don't go bonkers in the first 5 minutes, putting 200% effort in and then dying 5 minutes into the test. The best thing to do is to really try and pace it out. So the first 5 minutes, it should almost feel too easy, the first 5 minutes. So just nice and steady, build into the test. During the second 5 minutes and the third 5 minutes, try and hold that power. So it should be really quite challenging, but you can just about hold on. And then the last 5 minutes is about being able to suck it up and suffer a little bit and see if you can just hold on to as much of that power as you can. Okay. Once you've done the test, get it all uploaded and we'll have a look at it, or we can go through it, or we can talk you through what to do with the results afterwards, I should say. So that's the FTP test. On Wednesday there's 2 swims in there. What I'd like you to do is do the CSS test so that we can get an idea of what your swimming is like at the moment. So ignore the other one that's on there, I'll delete that in a second. So CSS test, go through the warm-up as it's described there. Then the CSS test itself is a 400 meter best pace swim. Okay, so maximum effort for 400 meters. Again, it needs to be paced in terms of not going off too fast. And then after that, do some nice easy swimming. So a couple of 100 meters, nice and easy with the pool boys if you want to do that, to recover as best you can. And then you do a 200 best pace. Still needs to be paced out. Make sure you evenly judge that effort. And then record those 2 times. Make sure you record the times. You don't want to put yourself through a test and then not record it accurately and have to do it again. So make sure that you get your watch set up, or you get someone to help you get those 2 times recorded. Any of the recording that you do, obviously the watches will upload via Garmin Connect or whatever device you use and end up in Training Peaks, but just make some written comments in the comments box, just scrolling down here. So post activity comments, you can type things in there about what went well, what didn't go so well, and just put your times in there. So that's the CSS test. I'll just take this one out here. And then you got an endurance run. It's a simple zone 2 endurance run. It should be nice and easy. You might feel like, we all know you can go faster, but just nice and easy. The idea of running it easy like that is because eventually over time, when these runs get up to an hour plus, an hour and a half, you still run easy. You need to get to know what training and running easy feels like, because very often people go too hard all the time. So nice easy run there for 30 minutes. And then on to Thursday, hill reps. So hopefully you'll be able to get out on the bike. All of the hill sessions, whether it be run or bike, can be done on the turbo or on the treadmill. Ideally they're done outside in kind of real world conditions, but if you need to do them inside because of time commitments or the weather's absolutely awful, then do them indoors. In running, just try and get yourself honestly on a treadmill with an incline. You won't be able to run back down the hill, because obviously treadmills don't work like that, but what you can do is you can jump off the side of the machine and have a static rest rather than putting the machine up and down all the time, because that will take too long. So do your hill reps on the machine on a decent incline, kind of 12 to 15% for that particular type of hill session. On the bike, then the only thing you can do really is get the gearing up, and effectively you're pretending that you're riding up a hill. So get the gearing up, drop the cadence right down, and push really hard. Try and stay seated so that you're driving the power through the legs. But that's the only adaptations you can make for that. You can take the power off after the interval and spin nice and easily. But that's the way you would adapt it for the bike. Just drop the gearing down and get the cadence down nice and low, and push hard like you would be if you were working on a decent hill. If you can get out to a hill, then great. What you're going to be doing is warming up beforehand, again as it says in the notes there, riding up the hill for 3 minutes or so before turning and riding easily back down. You're going to do the next rep as soon as you reach the bottom of the hill, and you're going to do that continually for 20 minutes. Okay, so again, really good solid strength work. This is our gym workout, if you like. This is our squats. So riding up and down hills, functional strength training is what we do. Thursday's swim, got an endurance swim there. Hopefully some of you will be coming to the squad, and we'll see you there. Various different parts in this particular session. So part 1, it's an RM timing session. Or maybe we need to go and do a separate input actually for timings. I'll come back to that one because that's something else that needs to be explained. But RM in simple terms means that you swim ahead of the beep. We use the Tempo Trainer beepers. If you haven't got one of those, then you're going to have to adapt the session by swimming just kind of steady effort, 5 or 6 out of 10 effort for the distances that are prescribed there. But you do ideally need to get yourself a finished Tempo Trainer, and then we can go through how to actually set up the specific timings that you should be following during the intervals. If you do have a beeper, that's great. We have to go through individually how to work out your timings. So I think the best way to do that is, the best way to do it at the moment for this particular session is just to swim it 5 out of 10, 5 or 6 out of 10 effort. Because what we can do, once you've all got your results in, we can do another session where we can explain how you need to work out your timings, and then next week we can get you back on the actual kind of the beeper timings, if that makes sense. So don't worry about the actual specifics of the timings and the RM5 and RM4 that's mentioned on there. Just swim them steady for this particular one. So you're going to do 4 66s, 3 133s, 2 200s, 1 266. If you're in a 50 metre pool or 25 metre pool, obviously the different distances are there in brackets there afterwards. And then you're going to go through that twice, and then you're going to do a 400 metre time trial. You're going to see if you can get anywhere near your CSS test result, the 400 swim time in there. And then for those of you who are used to swimming some volume, there's an extra 800 metre session extension in there. There's a couple of extra 400 metres for you to do. So do 2 times 400 metres towards the end of the session. Just take that additional volume up. If you haven't got time to do that, or you feel like you've done enough distance already, then don't worry about doing any extra. So that's that one. Friday, if you choose to swim on Thursday, then Friday's a rest day. If you're not swimming on Thursday, then you've got to do your endurance set on the Friday. On the Saturday, we have the 5k run test. The best thing to do is go to park run if you can. Warm up thoroughly, as it says in the notes there, and then a flat out 5k, and record the time and record your heart rate for that particular effort. Saturday, speed and power session. This is a full 1 hour speed and power session. So just follow the notes through there. It's a load of 75s flat out with some easy intervals, quite similar to the session that was today actually. Pretty straightforward, that one. walk back recovery. If you don't want to do a walk back recovery, you can do a nice easy swim back recovery, and some people can get embarrassed if you're doing it in a public pool and you're getting out and you're walking back all the time, so don't worry too much about that. Do a swim back recovery. That's nice and straightforward. And then on Sunday is a zone 2 ride. So zone 2 should feel nice and easy. Okay. Again, we know you can go faster. We know you can go harder, but this is not what it's about. This is about doing the right level of work at the right time. So nice and easy for 2 hours. These sessions start off, obviously starting off at 2 hours now. They will get longer. Of course, you can only ride for as long as you've got time for. Yeah, the Sunday is your big ride day generally. Okay, it's worth seeing if there's other people around, because a lot of you guys are going to be doing the same sessions on the same days. So put some shout outs on the Facebook group and see who wants to do some group training, because it makes the whole experience a lot more enjoyable. I think that's pretty much it for now. It's a bit of a rattle through. There will be a whole load of terminology and things that you're not sure about. And again, if there's anything like that, just pop it up onto the Facebook group and we'll answer those questions as we go. I think that's it for now. So let's get this uploaded and hopefully you'll find it useful. Like I say, if you've got any questions, fire away and we'll get those answered. Just give this next couple of weeks chance to kind of get used to the system and how it all works, get these tests done, get the teething problems all out of the way, and then we'll be absolutely flying after that. All right, so thanks very much.